first graders, welcome to reading. We're first going to start with phonics. We're going to be practicing words with a silent E at the end. A silent E changes the vowel sound. So let's do an example first. This word, let's sound it out. K, ah, n, con. But if you see a silent E at the end of the word, the E changes the O to say its name, O, instead of the sound ah. So let's try it now. K, O, n, cone. This word is cone. Let's try another one. Sound this word out. H, ah, ham. With a silent E at the end, it changes the vowel sound to O. Let's sound it out. O, home. This word is home. Let's try another one. Vat, vat. With a silent E at the end, it changes the O to say its name. Vote, vote. Let's try one more. This word has a blend at the beginning. Let's sound it out. Drave. With an E at the end, it changes the O to say its name. Drove, drove. Great job. All right, next up we have a couple high frequency words to practice. Our first word is work. Work, work. Our next word is around. Around, around. And our third word is open. Open, open. All right, today we are going to be listening to the story called Catch That Cookie. And this story is going to have differences and similarities, so same and different, to the story we read yesterday. So start thinking of what is similar, what's the same, and what is different. You could think of characters that are the same and different. You could think of the setting that is the same and different, or what is happening in the story. Is there a problem that's the same or different from our story yesterday? Be a thinker as you watch. Catch that cookie.
Catch That Cookie by Haley Durant. Pictures by David Small. Catch that cookie. It was December, and Marshall's class had heard stories about runaway gingerbread men all week long. Marshall didn't believe a word of it. They can't run for real, he told everybody. No way. Hope you're right, Mrs. Gray said, because we're baking ours today. Marshall gave a nod. He knew he was right. That afternoon, Marshall and his friends poured in the flour, sugar, and some dark, sticky stuff. That's molasses, Marshall told them. Marshall was the mixer, and even when his arm got tired, he kept going with the dough. He couldn't wait to get his cookies. Kudos, Marsh, said Mrs. Gray. You rocked that dough. Marshall gave a nod. He knew he rocked it. Marshall put some good stuff on his gingerbread man. A silver ball belt and 6 eyes. He really liked raisins. His cookie was looking tasty. Mrs. Gray double-checked the oven door once the gingerbread men were safely inside. Locked, she said. When the timer finally went off, Mrs. Gray said to Marshall, "Fearless leader, take us to the kitchen." But when they looked in the oven, there was nothing inside. "They ran away," everybody yelled. "Let's get them." Marshall didn't buy it. "They left us a clue," said Mrs. Gray. "If you can find us, we will be your snack. But if you can't, we're never coming back." We ran from the oven. We were bored and hot. Now we're hiding in a big black. Henry jumped up. "Pot, pot, the big black pot." Inside was another note. "Too bad you didn't catch us, 'cause we taste like candy. Now we're on vacation, on a beach that's sandy," everybody yelled. "The sand table." They all started running. Everybody but Marshall. He turned that pod over and ran his hand around the inside. He felt something soft and small. A raisin. Marshall put it right in his pocket. At the sand table, Mrs. Gray read the next note. "Whoa," she said, "bad handwriting. You didn't find us this time, and a hee-hee-ho. You thought we might be slow, 'cause we're only made of dough. We're very fast, and we also like to brag. See if you can find us. We'll be playing tag," said Avery. "They can't run," said Marshall. "Can so," said Avery. "Let's go," said Mrs. Gray. Everybody ran to the gym. Well, everybody but Marshall. "Can I see that clue?" he asked. The writing was bad. No way it was Mrs. Gray's. The next clue was on the bleachers. "We have had a great time and we haven't made a mess. We're very impressed that you are trying your best. If you don't find us this time, the game's all done. You will have lost and the G-men will have won." "That's not a clue," said Henry. "They were stuck, they were hungry, and they wanted to win." Everybody huddled. But Marshall sat down, considering the evidence. The raisin in his pocket and the bad handwriting. What if the G-men could run? That's when he saw the silver ball on the gym floor. There was only one place it could have come from. Then he saw the footprints. They were gingerbread footprints, hundreds of them. Marshall didn't make a sound. Those guys played hard. He thought, they have gotta be tired. That was it. "They're taking a nap," Marshall whirled. Everyone searched, in the bleachers and under the mats. No luck. Had the G-men won? If I needed a nap, thought Marshall, I would go to bed. "They're in the doll corner," he yelled. Marshall led the way this time. And there were the little gingerbread men, sound asleep in the doll bed. Marshall's guy was right there in the middle, minus an eye and a ball from his belt. He must have been a ringleader. Everyone cheered. They had caught the G-Man. Marshall gave his cookie back his eye. "You really can run," he said. "Good sleuthing," said Mrs. Gray. Marshall gave a nod. He knew he had good sleuthing, whatever that was. When Marshall's dad came to pick him up, Marshall kept his G-Man close. "Dad," Marshall asked. "Dad," Marshall said once they were in the car. "Yeah, bud? Lock the doors." "Why's that?" said his dad. "So my cookie can't get out," said Marshall. "They can run for real, you know." His dad gave a nod. He knew they could run. He knew they could run. The end.
Okay, after reading both of those stories, Catch That Cookie and The Gingerbread Man Loose in the School, now I want you to think what was different about these two stories. What was different? Think of the characters, think of their names, and then start thinking about what was the same. You're going to put what was the same in the middle here. Think of what happened in the story, maybe the problem, what was the same. Think of the setting, where were they? So it's your turn to show what you know. In your reading seesaw slides, you can either type, write with the pen, or record and tell us what was the same about these two stories and what was different about these two stories. I hope you had fun listening to Catch That Cookie today. If you have some time today, you can go into the Epic collection in your mailbox, and it's called Gingerbread. You can pick a gingerbread story to read or listen to if you have time today.